Well, good morning, no, good afternoon, or whatever it is. This is the voice of Friendship Village coming at you again. We're being brought to you today. Our sponsors are the
crew of the beauty salon.
The crew of the beauty salon. And you'll see later why we picked that sponsor for today's program. So it's a crew. I just thought it was a crew of one, but now I learned today that it's a crew of several. So all here to serve our cosmetology needs and wishes, and from what I hear and from what I personally experienced, doing a bang-up job. So we appreciate the cosmetologists, the beauticians who work here at Friendship Village. Let me start the session with a joke, if that'd be all right. And it's a joke about a couple who have been married for well over 50 years. And they always seem to have just the very best of marriages. Never bickered with one another, got along just famously, and they seem to want to outdo each other in showing and expressing their love for their partner. So one night, the couple was being honored at their local church because of their longevity in marital bliss, you might say. So they were talking to the husband. We'll call him Stan. And so they said, Stan, tell us some of your secrets about having such a long and great marriage. And he said, well, first of all, we try to outdo each other in expressing our concern and reaching out to make life better for our partner. And we've also learned that it doesn't do any good to worry about the little things. Just let them be. And by the grace of God, they'll just work themselves out and we'll just be fine. And the other thing I've learned is that my wife enjoys trips. She likes to travel to exotic places. So one of the things I did, I think that helped our marriage, was on our 25th wedding anniversary, I took my wife to Singapore. Now there's an interesting place to go and visit. And so then one of the people that were interviewing Stan spoke up and said, well, that's great. What'd you do for your 50th wedding anniversary? Well, then I went back and got her. All right, Stan, good job. And a happy wife is a happy life, as they say. So we can all attest to that. So here we are now. It's time for Mary to begin our interview with our special guest. Mary, take it away.
Good afternoon. It is afternoon today. Our guest today, her name is Jeanne Moeller, and she is our campus beautician. She is the head lady of everything, and she keeps everybody looking fantastic.
Well, she's not the head lady of everything, just
of the beauticians,
cosmetology. Yeah.
Of the beauty salon.
She doesn't want to be the head lady of everything. No. Okay.
Anyway, we're glad to have her today. We're glad that we can interview her. Like we said, she services a lot of people here, and they will enjoy finding out a little bit more about her background, even though she has been really good to share a lot of her life with us as we are under the I won't say under the knife, but under the scissors, the curlers, everything she uses on us. She shares a lot with us, and we're very happy about that. So, Jeanne, like we start a lot of our podcasts, where did you begin life? Where were you born?
Actually, I was born in Washburn, and when I was in kindergarten, my parents built a house in Gilbertville. My mom's from Gilbertville, and my dad was from Williams, Iowa, and they met, and so my whole life I've been in Gilbertville then.
You went to school there, graduated from there, met your husband there.
Yeah, at a wedding dance. That's what small town
And
girls
you still
did
live there?
at my age.
You still live
Yes.
there? Gilbertville. Okay.
Yeah.
You never ventured far.
Nope.
So when you were in school, were you involved in sports and some of those things?
I played sports in sophomore year, but I got decided after spending as much time as everybody else trying to play and sitting on the bench, I made a better bench warmer than I did an athlete. So that was the end of my sports career. But I was involved in a lot of the music stuff. I was in plays, chorus, ensembles, sextet. Let's see, what else? One year I was the proofreader for the school newspaper. So I was at Don Bosco, so Father Ralph was one of my teachers. Maybe he wouldn't want me to say that in case I ever do something naughty, you know.
Well, we interviewed him one time and he didn't say anything about you.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, you know, because usually the naughty ones stick out.
So, did you have brothers and sisters then?
Yep, I'm the oldest of four. I have two younger sisters, and my brother is the youngest. And we're all still in the area. We all live probably within 3 miles of each other.
Wonderful.
My goodness.
Wonderful.
That's great.
Yep.
Do you get together often?
Not as often as we like, but we all have, well, 3 of us have grandchildren now, so you know, once grandkids come around, you're pulled in a lot more different directions than you were when it was just your kids.
Right. So how long have you been married?
43 years.
Wow, that's very nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
And your husband's name is
Tom.
Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Moeller. Did you know you wanted to be a beautician when you were in school?
Well, I went from wanting to be a veterinarian to being an attorney to being a mechanic.
Oh.
And then a friend of mine was in mechanics, and he says, you know, if you're going to be a girl going into that field, you're going to get a lot of crap from people. And I wasn't as good as throwing back at it as I am now. So I have an aunt who was a beautician, and I've always liked, I mean, we've got some Barbie dolls, not mine, but my sister's got some Barbie dolls that have some pretty weird hairdos. And we used to play beauty shop when I was a kid. And I have my little heated rollers down in the salon. For one of them, they got sand in them, so when you'd put them in your hair and it was long and you'd be like one of those thingies, you know, that has the beads on them, and you pull up, and so it just swings.
Swishes back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Mom would give us some makeup, and we'd play beauty shop.
So that was a good beginning.
Yeah.
And so where did you go to beauty school?
I went to Young's.
Where's that? Here in Waterloo?
It is no longer, but it was on 4th Street. I took a day off school to go visit the schools, and one of the appointments I made when I got there, they just were not really. It's like, well, go look around and ask if you have any questions, let us know. And it's like, I don't know what I'm looking. So I went over to Young's, and they had one of their staff show me around the whole place, which it's not that big, you know, and explain their whole curriculum. And then they had me sit in the office and talk financial stuff with their secretary. And when I walked out, I thought, you know, I think they want me here. So that's where I decided to go.
Oh, great.
And that's more than a year course, isn't it?
It's 1,200 hours, or no, wait, is it 15? I can't remember now, but yeah, it if you go every day, when I did it, it was like a year and a week.
Okay.
Okay.
So I started in August, and I was out the first week of September.
Mm-hmm. And where was your first job?
Here.
Really?
Yeah, I was 19 when I started here.
Oh, wow.
So I've been here ever since. So it'll
You
be
have longevity here, don't
yeah,
you?
it'll be 43 years in October since I started here.
My goodness.
And one lady, when I was talking about it one time a few years ago, she goes, why would they hire a 19-year-old? And I said, well, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of bosses until you got to be the boss.
Well, I worked for only D Dee Damrow. She was the one I worked for, and she was very, very good to me. We went through a lot of tough times when my husband was laid off work and without a job, and she was very, very good. And when the kids came around, she was good about working with my schedule so I could get and go do what I needed to do for my kids, and so I'm still here.
So you worked while you were pregnant every time, probably.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Yeah, that was excitement. The night my daughter was born, they used to have dances on Saturday nights.
Here?
Yeah, over at Park Lane, down in the craft room. And a group of ladies were down there, and one I was really close to. I called her, and she's just like, oh my gosh, I gotta go tell everybody, we're having our dance tonight. She says, we're dancing and you're having a baby. So it was, yeah, they've watched me grow up, they've watched my kids grow up, now they're watching my grandkids grow up.
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
Quite a legacy you'll be leaving.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. How many children do you have?
I have two.
Two.
I have a daughter and a son, and they're 7 years apart.
Okay.
I have 10 grandchildren, and I have one little great-grandson now.
Great. That's quite a legacy too.
Yeah,
And they all live around here.
right?
Right.
Yep, and it's mostly all boys, so
Okay.
boy, I tell you, when Gabby started working for me and she's got a little girl, it's like, yes, I can buy some girl stuff.
So tell us about your crew now that you have working for you.
Okay. Within the last few months, I have hired Gabby Skiles. She is Pastor Weimer and Vivian's granddaughter. And so she is actually a barber. And she works with me on Thursday mornings. And then we have started booking on Wednesday mornings. When Rosewood was going to close, I have Deb Kettles, who has been at Rosewood for 28 years. She's joined us.
Oh, great.
So now she will be available. She is working like a day and a half a week, and we'll just kind of be looking for her clients wherever they might land. So that makes their move maybe a little easier if they have somebody familiar that they can hook up with.
They kind of moved with some of the residents.
Right. Yep.
Which is good.
So yeah, because when we went through the move, it's very chaotic. And I know when we moved the landing in that, it was, some of the ladies were so upset. And then that would make us upset. And then it's just kind of sit and cry together. And it's like, well, at least I know you.
Yeah.
But, it took me a while to be comfortable in the new salons also. So
Yes.
I know what that's like.
Right. You go from salon to salon.
Yes. And these are bigger than what I'm used to having. And I know when Lisa showed it to me at first, I said, oh my gosh, I don't need all of this. And she called me the next day and she says, do we need to talk? You seemed really overwhelmed. It's like, I said, I'm used to having just this little bitty space and I got all of this. And I think one of the things I was most excited about was a washer and dryer.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pluses that you've gained since the building of the terrace and getting new clientele and servicing both of the buildings. And there's also probably a beautician over the lodge. They have a separate one over there.
Actually, Deb and I take care of the people over at the lodge.
Okay.
Quite a few of Deb's clients went to the lodge. So she's there, she puts in a full day there on Wednesdays, and I go there Thursday afternoon when I'm done at the terrace. But we're trying to be very flexible because we want people to be taken care of and be comfortable. So, if we're slow someplace, then we hop to another salon. and so that we get everybody taken care of that once that has something they want done.
Hey, let me interrupt here just briefly and remind our listeners that our sponsor today is all of the beautician gang. I don't know.
The team.
The team.
Team.
The team.
Oh, that's a much better word than gang.
Yeah, well, in
Team.
this day and age it is.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So what do you do in your time off, Jeannie?
Well, I spend a lot of time with grandchildren. I love to tear things apart and rebuild them.
Well, give us an example of that.
Well, during COVID, I actually built my office, which I had been planning to do for years.
At home.
At home, yeah. We have a 1.5-story house, and when the kids moved out, I took their bedroom, and so I like to piddle around with things. I like to find things to try, recipes but that was a big project, and it was like a work day for me, thank goodness. And then I redid a desk that my dad had made to make it look like it was this old rustic stuff, and I actually hung corrugated steel halfway like a... Yeah, I'm showing everybody. Can you see?
Yeah.
But
Your hands are going.
Yes, they're going. And I took car siding and stained it. And it was really interesting because I didn't use anything but really strong tea. And then I put steel wool and white vinegar. And that oxidized, or whatever you call it, and you put those on top and you get the look of like barnwood.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then part of it I whitewashed, and and then a good friend of mine, she lost her job during COVID, so we had the cleanest houses. All the windows were washed, and one day it was so windy and it was rainy and I was ornery, and it started raining after I had all the windows out of my front porch, and I just went outside, and I think the neighbors probably thought, oh, she flipped. And I said, just throw it at me, buddy. I'm going to get these windows washed and back in. So, yeah.
And does your husband help you with these projects?
No.
But he encourages you.
He just stays out of the way.
He stays out of the way.
He stays out of the way.
He probably has his own projects.
Tom's not a project guy. He's more of a gardener. He likes to putz in the yard and stuff like that.
Well, you need that too. You gotta keep your yard looking good.
Oh gosh, one year, well, for 2 years really. I don't know what possessed him, but he mowed a shamrock in part of our yard. So he would set the mower on 3 different levels, and then he would mow this shamrock.
Wow.
Really?
Take a picture of it?
Yeah. We got one somewhere.
Oh.
And, he's always been quite creative. He's real artistic. And so one year on Valentine's Day, he went out and it had snowed. So he tracked a heart in the snow.
Oh.
And then with his feet, did, what was it? JM plus TM.
Okay.
Oh.
And I told him one time for an anniversary, I wanted a carrot. And that's what I got.
A carrot?
Carrot. Yeah, instead of a carrot, I got a carrot.
Oh, I see.
C-A-R-E-T.
See, yeah, that's what I wanted, but I got a C-A-R-R-O-T.
Okay. Shoot.
Oh, I don't need that anyway.
Here's your carrot. Oh, I see.
And then I got a ring pop for our anniversary one year, and it was a green one because our anniversary's in May, so green is emerald for May.
Okay. Let me ask Jeannie this question: Would you ever consider maybe someday in your future moving into a place like Friendship Village?
Yep.
Okay.
I said to my husband one day, we used to come and pick a resident up on Sunday nights, and we would go play cards, and we'd take turns making a meal, the other couple and I. And one night I said, Tom, I think I could see us living here. And he goes, yeah, but can we afford it? And I said, the way life is, can you afford not to? Because of all the things. I mean, my husband's dad lived here, and that was a godsend.
Oh.
You know, and they took good care of him.
Well, that's good. I'm glad
Yeah.
this could be part of your future.
Well, I think it's fun to see how the friendships are made around here with people that didn't know each other their whole life.
Yeah, you move in not knowing anyone, and before long, you go to the dining room, or you might go to one of the games or something and get acquainted, and people are very good. I know we've gotten acquainted already with some of the Rosewood people.
Yeah.
You know, make yourself acquainted and talk to them a little bit, and they'll come into the dining room, they sit with you at the table or something, and
You know,
yeah, it's taken a while, but we're all getting used to each other now.
yeah.
And we, kind of share in all the activities too. We go over there for activities. They come here for activities. You get on the bus and go to some place for activities. So
Well,
it's fun.
it's easier to do now because they're connected.
Yes.
You know, before it was either a bus ride or, you had to drive. Where this way, a lot of people, they're really taking advantage of that walkway, and that's gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very handy.
Yeah.
Very, very, very handy. You're in out of the elements.
I'm sure glad Lisa Gates a long time ago insisted that we have a walkway between the two buildings.
Good.
Well, and it makes it nice if you have, say, your spouse in the medical part.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're not doing so good. You can stay there and you still can walk home without hunting. Even if it's in the middle of the night, you're still safe because you're inside.
Yes. Oh yeah, and there's so many locked doors to get through.
Oh my gosh, those little key fobs when you're over at the other building, if you forget to put your keys in your pocket, it's like, oh gosh.
How am I going to get in?
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for being here and taking time off of your busy schedule to see us and be a part of this podcast. We appreciate that. And right, Mary?
Yes.
Yes, for
It's
sure.
been a very good interview. I've enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for asking me. It's, been fun.
We
Okay.
try to get our interviews with many of the residents or employees or people that work here. Do a variety. We do a big variety.
Yeah.
So, and I think the residents who listen to our podcast, or people throughout the United States who listen to our podcast, enjoy it very much.
And we on purpose left out the part about those 7 years you were in prison. We just didn't want to go there.
Oh, I'm sure glad you didn't bring that up.
Okay. Now, if any of our listeners would like to know more, they could just maybe personally come and ask you.
Maybe you better look online.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, Jeannie. And as we often like to close, let's say these things together. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. So goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.